Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, Bashem Rakak. My name is Yakalba from Plaintables Camp in Philly. It's Vira, Nigeria. So Bloomsburg and Yahoo News, Yahoo Finance says Russian fleet en route to U.S. to help battle fuel crisis. All right. Says Russia boats. It's like it. Russia boosts U.S. fuel exports amid European energy crunch. So I thought Russia was supposed to be America's enemies. All right. This is how you know they might be enemies on one front, but they're allies on other fronts. All right. So if Babylon America was so damn great, why are they getting help from the enemy? And it looks bad. Like it says Bloomberg, Russia boosts U.S. fuel exports amid European energy crunch. A fleet of tankers laden with Russian diesel heading to U.S. East Coast may help to alleviate the most expensive retail prices for the fuel in 7 years. Four tankers with 2 million barrels of Russian diesel aboard, the most in data going back to 2018, are set to arrive next week as natural gas-rich Russia cranks up diesel production units that are dependent on a feedstock extracted from costly natural gas, according to Vortexa Ltd. Russia is better positioned to supply diesel than other refineries in Europe because of its access to cheap natural gas, says Clay Siegel, a managing director for Vortexa in Houston. It's very rare we'd see volumes this large coming to the East Coast. All right. So maybe Russian ships always come to New York. I don't know. The price of diesel and other fuels used for heating has soared as winter energy crunch pinches supplies globally. In Europe, natural gas prices have more than tripled and even played a role in raising oil prices as the crisis raises the prospect of power plants switching from gas to oil. Russia's President Vladimir Putin, or Vlad, promised additional gas flows to Europe, but those volumes have so far failed to materialize, as a controversial Russian pipeline is held up by permitting delays in Germany. Meanwhile, Russia is boosting exports of diesel. Flows from the Baltic port of Primorsk are set to reach the highest since at least 2016. All right, so I don't know how many Russian ships normally come to America, but they're reporting this as if this is unusual. All right. Diesel prices in the U.S. East Coast have jumped up to the highest since 2014, with distillate investors in the region down by about a third from levels earlier this year. Diesel demands across the U.S. It also holding up the consumption is set to surge to the highest since 2018 next year as truckers continue to work to clear a backlog of deliveries accumulated during the pandemic. So wouldn't these ships be backlogged also? Or does oil not count? You don't have to hold the oil back. It's almost political theater. This is all, it's making this shit up. You know, the cargoes will arrive in New Haven, Connecticut at a time when refinery maintenance in the U.S. has tightened the supply of fuel to the region. All right, so apparently Russia is supplying additional diesel fuel to the United States, but yet they're the enemy. So that looks bad. Babylon, America's supposed to have their shit together, and they don't. And they're getting their enemies to help them. All right, and they're making money off of them. Well, they're trading. Well, they allow Russia to operate in their fictitious money system. All right, but that's making the U.S. look weak. Still so. All right, this is Isaiah 14:9. Hell from beneath is moved to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee. Even all the chief ones of the earth it hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of nations. All right, Russia is one of those kings. All, or Gog and Magog, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? So Russia has always been a powerhouse for petroleum products. So they already know what the deal was, and they run different mathematical models on who's going to need what based upon a particular country's economy. All right, so the Russia, Gog and Magog, is supplying additional fuel to America, and the Russians are supposed to be the enemies. Isaiah 14:11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. So Babylon, America, is going down. All right. America's supposed to have their shit together. They're supposed to be self-sufficient in certain areas. And since they made the deal with these other nations to supply a certain amount of goods, they made themselves weak. So this just goes to show you that it's not beyond the realm of possibilities for the so-called American empire to fall. Look at CRT says Russian fleet en route to U.S. to help battle fuel crisis. It's pretty much probably gonna say the same thing. Russia is better. It is very rare we'd see volumes this large coming to the East Coast, the expert added. Retail prices for diesel in the U.S. East Coast have soared. So when a diesel comes in, it's going to offset the price. Since they'll have more of the supply, so that means the price should go down if they have more supply. All right. So yeah, that's just news. I mean, if it's real or imagined, they're slowing things down, doing tune-ups, and reducing their production so they can getting help from Russia. Hey, so in some ways, political theater, but it's still embarrassing that they're getting help from the enemies. All right. So hope this was informative and edifying. Shalom.